Chennedy alluded to, what we love about Caitlyn is the same thing that we love about Diana Taurasi, the all-time leading scorer in the WNBA.
She was signed to the Chicago Sky with Teresa Weatherspoon, with Angel Reese, with Camila Cardoso, and, you know, the rest of the folks.
Now, on this path, there will be some moments, and I think a perfect example is from whom you just saw, Chennedy Carter. But I think also to learn from this situation.
You know that moment when one split-second decision ruins everything? Chennedy Carter just lived it when she shoved Caitlin Clark and watched her entire career collapse overnight. Teams that would have fought for her talent are now running in the opposite direction. Let's be real. When even Angel Reese unfollows you, you know you've messed up bad. Carter's not just dealing with fan backlash, she's facing the cold reality that attacking the WNBA's golden goose, who's driving a 500% merchandise sales increase, was career suicide. No team wants that kind of trouble.
Her filthy thug hands on WNBA player Caitlin Clark. I knew then her future was...
That probably has one of the shortest fuses in the WNBA. Yes, why do I know that? I played with her.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
They talk trash, and they have the game to back it up. Caitlyn was just named Rookie of the Month, averaging 17 points per game and 6 assists.
Tyler Marsh did the press conference. He talked about Angel Reese. He talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star.
Now, fast forward to where we are today and what we just witnessed happen between Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark. I want to be absolutely clear. No one condones.
You ever see someone throw away everything in just 5 seconds? That's exactly what happened when Chennedy Carter put her hands on Caitlin Clark during that Sky Fever game. But this meltdown didn't come out of nowhere. It was like watching a pressure cooker about to explode all game long. From the opening tip-off, Clark was in total control, making shot after shot and putting on an absolute clinic. Meanwhile, Carter was having a nightmare trying to guard her. Every time Clark released another three-pointer, you could practically see the steam coming out of Carter's ears. Her shoulders got tighter, her jaw clenched harder, her eyes narrowed more with each basket Clark drained. Basketball's an emotional game, but what was happening with Carter went way beyond normal competitive fire. She wasn't just getting beaten, she was getting embarrassed on national TV. The cameras caught everything. Carter getting caught flat-footed, losing her defensive assignment, and watching helplessly as Clark racked up points. Then came that pivotal moment in the third quarter. Clark hit this ridiculous deep three right over Carter's outstretched hand, the kind of shot that makes highlight reels. And something in Carter just snapped. That deliberate shove wasn't a basketball play. It wasn't even a heat-of-the-moment reaction. It was personal.
Like, did y'all forget all of the events that transpired last year with her and Caitlin Clark? And then she refused to own up to what she did.
And you're playing against somebody like me, I classify myself as a dog. So if you're gonna throw a punch, then I'm gonna compete with you. I'm gonna play at the level that you're.
The whole arena went dead silent for a split second before erupting in boos. What made it even worse? Carter reportedly called Clark the B word during the shove. Even casual fans in the stands knew they were witnessing something beyond a normal foul. This wasn't basketball anymore. This was a complete breakdown of professionalism. But here's the crazy part. The shove wasn't even Carter's biggest mistake. After the game, reporters handed her a golden opportunity to save face. All she needed to say was, "I lost my cool," or "That's not who I am." Instead, when asked if she had any regrets, Carter doubled down with, "I don't have any regrets with anything." Her body language during that interview was just as bad as her words. Arms crossed defensively, eyes rolling dramatically, looking like she somehow was the victim in all this. A courtside scout who witnessed the whole thing said, "I've never seen anything like it. It wasn't just the push, it was the energy behind it. That's not what we want in this league."
The league as the top dog in college, and now professional players whom you're going up against want to show you why they are on top.
I don't know why people be so surprised. Oh my God, Chennedy Carter deserved a play. Why?
That courtside scout wasn't the only one who'd had enough of Carter's attitude What most fans don't realize is that before she ever put hands on Caitlin Clark, Chennedy had already alienated not just one team, but 3 entire WNBA locker rooms. When your own teammates are begging management to get rid of you, something is seriously wrong.
Carter shoulder checked Caitlin Clark from behind, knocked her down before the basketball was inbounded. A common foul was called, but the WNBA on Sunday upgraded.
Like the push that was heard around the world has cost WNBA player Chennedy Carter her career.
Let's back up for a second. Carter's problems with teammates started way before the Chicago Sky. During her time with the Atlanta Dream, things got so heated that she reportedly wanted to physically fight her teammate Courtney Williams. Why? Because Williams had the audacity to call her out for not supporting her teammates during games. Imagine being so defensive that you're ready to throw hands with someone just trying to make you a better teammate. The Atlanta Dream didn't mess around. They suspended Carter mid-season and publicly called her a detriment to team culture. That's not something organizations say lightly. That's management code for this player is completely toxic. But Carter didn't learn her lesson. After Atlanta traded her to the LA Sparks, the exact same issues popped up again. Her conduct was so poor that coaches started cutting her minutes during the 2022 season, and eventually the Sparks just released her. 2 teams down, same exact problems. By the time she joined the Chicago Sky, Carter's reputation was already in tatters. According to insiders, several Sky players were completely done with her before the Clark incident even happened. They weren't just annoyed, they were actively campaigning to management to kick her off the roster before next season even started.
And it was just like one of those things that was in the heat of the moment. You know, I don't know Caitlin. I don't know her from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is hoops. It's competitive.
In the WNBA, but he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
Grant won. Sky coach Teresa Witherspoon called the play inappropriate and said Carter and the team will learn from the incident. Carter's
One Sky coach privately admitted something pretty shocking. Carter poisoned the locker room atmosphere from day one. That's brutal. The organization decided not to offer her a qualifying contract, with insiders revealing they would rather have no one than have her. Think about that. A team would rather play with an empty roster spot than keep Carter around. The most jaw-dropping betrayal? Angel Reese, who everyone thought was Carter's closest ally on the team, publicly unfollowed her on social media after the shove incident. In today's world, that's the equivalent of slamming a door in someone's face and changing the locks. So here's the real deal that nobody's talking about. Chennedy Carter didn't just mess up her own career, she attacked the WNBA's golden goose.
This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people.
Chennedy Carter did to Caitlin Clark on that one play. But you have to call a spade a spade. It was a cheap shot. But if we're speaking on what the entire sequence of events were,
the league is experiencing a Caitlin Clark boom like nothing we've seen before. We're talking a mind-blowing 500% increase in merchandise sales since Clark arrived. And get this, over 200,000 additional fans show up to games just to see her play. Think about this from a business perspective. What team is going to sign someone who physically attacked their meal ticket? Those numbers explain exactly why Carter's phone isn't ringing. Her 5-second meltdown didn't just burn bridges, it torched her entire future. The crazy thing is how one split-second decision can erase years of hard work. Carter was a legit scoring talent, but in today's sports world, your attitude matters just as much as your jump shot. Teams aren't just looking at your stats anymore, they're asking if you'll help or hurt their bottom line. And right now, the answer for Carter is crystal clear.